Welcome. This is the TTP show, and I'm Ghxstavo, and with me today is Thami, and we'll be reacting to CAF Champions League. Thami, how's it, my brother?
Mfethu ngimnandi Ghxstavo unjani wena?
Aye, grand, man. Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns have managed to qualify for our quarterfinals of the CAF Champions League, and we know that's how huge that is for South African football. Quick thoughts on that, them qualifying and them making it through.
My brother, let me first congratulate both teams. I think Paris surprised everyone. I'm saying this because if you look across all the group stages, they've got the highest number of points. We are talking 14 points, and if I'm not mistaken, I think number two is probably sitting on 10 or 12 overall from all the teams, and it's a huge benefit for South African football. When you speak Mamelodi Sundowns, you're talking about a team that has been in the Champions League knockout stages for the past 7 years. They've been winning the domestic league in South Africa. They've won it 7 times in a row. They've qualified for the seventh time as well. Despite the changes, despite Rulani leaving, and of course Mangoba and the team taking over, things not looking well. The Portuguese coming in, different style of play, noise across South Africa, but the team managed to qualify. And you can only say Sundowns has raised the bar, my brother, because I'm saying this because if the way I look at Sundowns right now, I can only think of Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. The reason why I'm telling you this is because whoever coach comes in, they need to know that Sundowns has to play Champions League football. Sundowns has to be amongst the last eight. Sundowns has to be amongst the last four. And I think this year, this season, the only reason why Mamelodi Sundowns went as far as getting Cardoso, the mandate is very clear. They need to win the Champions League. Now, going back to Orlando Pirates, my brother, I think Pirates has got a coach. I probably have said this before, and I hope he's going to renew his contract because his contract is coming to an end in June. My brother, look at what the guy has been doing. You remember the first season, Paris finished second. They went out in the first round, preliminary rounds of the CAF Champions League, and then this time around, he went all the way. We topping the group. We beat Ahly. We unbeaten. Youngsters from TDC, introduction, the transition. It means for somebody who's playing in the TDC or Pele Pele, for those that don't know that Pele Pele is a feed of Orlando Pirates, you have that belief that if I'm doing well, I might be called up anytime. How do you go? What do you say when the coach goes as far as saying, okay, you know what, Van Rooyen is unavailable, Sean is unavailable, Tabiso Bunyan is unavailable, I have a youngster, never played any professional football, comes in and plays his first professional football against Al Ahly in Egypt, my brother. That can say a lot about the coach. So just to answer a question briefly, it's what's happening in South Africa right now. But again, you must look at what's been happening ever since we did well in the CAF, in the AFCON.
Of course.
Remember, we finished number 3. We've been on the rise. We've been on the rise because across the Betway Premiership, the competition is there. You can see that everyone is doing well. We should not, even though we are only looking at CAF Champions League, we should not look at overlook actually at what Stellenbosch has been doing. They've just qualified for CAF Confederations last year as well in their very first attempt. That can only say that can only do wonders for South African football, my brother. So, once again, congratulations to Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah, I'll touch on that, especially how this benefits our national team. I'll touch on it at the end, you know. But I want us to look at both these clubs. Orlando Pirates, they are qualifying first in their group, unbeaten. I think they are one of the 2 teams that are unbeaten, including is Rabat, that are unbeaten in the group stages. Then we have Mamelodi Sundowns qualifying second in their group. You have Alhy qualifying second in the group that Pirates is also in. So you look at those 2 teams, especially the South African teams, and you sort of see now that this other team is in the first pot, which is Orlando Pirates, and Mamelodi Sundowns find themselves in the second pot. Since these teams are not in the same group, there's a possibility of them playing each other. There's the possibility of them playing each other. But quickly, let's touch on the pot and touch on how it works, basically. Explain how the 2 pots work.
All right, Shapran. No, I'll just summarize it quickly for the fans. What's happening is this. Remember, you've got 8 teams, meaning there's 4 number ones in their respective groups and then 4 number twos in their respective groups. So now it means, just like you said, Ghxstavo, you've got pot number one that consists of Orlando Pirates, Esperance de Tunis from Tunisia, and it consists of Al Hilal from Sudan, and then Rabat, Esfa Rabat, that was in the same group as Mamelodi Sundowns. So the rules are as follows: you cannot play the same team that happened to be, or that was in your group. That's rule number one. And then number one plays number two from the other group. So I'm going to make examples using the two South African teams. So it means since Orlando Pirates were number one in their group, they cannot play Al Ahly. Al Ahly is already out for the next round, for the quarterfinals. So it means the possible opponents are what? Our very own rivals, Mamelodi Sundowns, Pyramids from Egypt, and then the third one is, if I'm not mistaken, MC Alger from Algeria. Those are the possible opponents for both. For Orlando Pirates, and then for Mamelodi Sundowns, it means they are not going to play AS FAR Rabat from Morocco. Their possible opponents are Orlando Pirates, Pyramids, and MC Alger. So that's how it's now. The benefits of being number one. Somebody was going to ask, okay, you are number one, so what are the benefits? Obviously, it's debatable as to whether it's always better to play away or to play at home. But history reveals that playing the second leg at home always beneficial. Now, since Orlando Pirates is number one in their group, it means whoever they play against, be it Mamelodi Sundowns, MC Alger, or Pyramid, they are going to play the first leg away, and then they're going to play the second leg in Orlando Stadium. And I think we've already seen how the Orlando Pirates fans has turned Orlando Stadium into something else this season.
Yeah, they've made it tough for teams to go there, Scotland, and get anything. We saw Alhy coming to Wilontuzana during the group stages, coming to Escotine and being there to come and defend, but that's Alhy. So now you have Alhy and the Sundowns, which are on the second pot, and some may say that Alhy is there to avoid a certain team. Some may say Sundowns, they managed to squeeze themselves in there to sort of avoid Alhy. That's what the rumors are saying. That Sundowns throw away a win, avoiding an Alhy. So there's this team that has been causing everyone problems in the CAF Champions League, especially in the knockout stages. They can relax, and some they say this Alhy is very beatable. And I beg to differ, and I think you can attest to this, that Alhy shows up when it matters. A team like Alhy shows up when it matters. Knockout stages, how important is it for teams to respect Alhy, including Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns?
My brother, I'm going to tell you something, and I so wish people would understand. But luckily for Orlando Pirates, they have a coach who knows that beating Al Ahly in the group stages, if you happen to meet them in the knockout stages, they're gonna be a different food altogether. If I were to use that word, these are the 12-time CAF Champions League champions. They've won it 4 times in the last 5 seasons. The current coach has won it twice already. Meaning to say, should they win it now, they are going to keep it. I think they've managed, in their 12 attempts, they've managed to win it back to back, but they are yet starting to correct to win it all the way. So Marcelo Koller, who's the current coach, if he wins it now, is going to win it for the 3rd time in a row. You spoke about Al Ahly changing the gear, if I were to use the word, in the knockout stages, just like Mamelodi Sundowns. If you remember clearly under Pitso Masimane, Mamelodi Sundowns, they always, at the time, they kept going all out. We could tell the Sundowns was going to win the Champions League. So when you speak of Al Ahly, my brother, I also saw one of the clips after the game. I think one of the players said the loss against Pirates could actually be the reason why they're going to win the Champions League, because they are not going to lose any game after that. Mamelodi Sundowns, I also saw another clip during the game, or after the game actually, in terms of how they considered the goal, and people are saying, nah, match fixing. How can the goalkeeper, the top goalkeeper, yeah, but it happened. I don't think it was match fixing. No, it was a good goal, but for Sundowns, and I think, to be honest with you, if there are teams that I wish we could avoid until the final, unfortunately, you can only play one team in the final. It's Mamelodi Sundowns, and then it's Al Ahly. I'm telling you, my brother, those people know, they are like Real Madrid. I'm going to use this again. Remember, Real Madrid can be nothing, but comes knockout stages, they know how to win. And people need to remember, Al Ahly does it. They really don't care about how you play. Yes, they want it to be pretty in the eye, but for them, it's all about winning. They have that mentality, and it's something. It's a similar thing that I'm seeing with the new Mamelodi Sundowns coach. People can say whatever they want to say, but my brother, that's why I'm saying congratulations to him. He came in under pressure and was able to put Sundowns in the knockout stages. I've seen for the first time, I think Orlando Pirates also applied this. And that's another good thing for South African football. When you were watching Pirates against Al Ahly, you saw 10 men behind the ball. When you've been watching the current Mamelodi Sundowns, you saw 10 men behind the ball. When you were watching an Ahly against Orlando Pirates in Orlando Stadium, you saw 10 men behind the ball. Big
Not behind the ball.
teams know when to respect other teams. They know when to defend. And I can tell you for free, my brother. If I were to predict, if Orlando Pirates doesn't play Mamelodi Sundowns in the knockout stages, of which I hope so, I can tell you that Mamelodi Sundowns, Orlando Pirates, Al Ahly, and Esperance Tunis, I expect those teams to be in the semi-finals. But of course, this has been the Champions League of surprises. Hence, we see Orlando Pirates being the one team that's got the highest points. But anything can happen. But Al Ahly, Mamelodi Sundowns, those are the teams that I think could go all the way. With Orlando Pirates obviously being the surprise package.
Yeah. Also, that team is also going to come into the surprise package is the same one that qualified at the top against the Sundowns. That was in the same group, which is Rabat. And just to add all my opinion there, I think there's also another wild horse because there's this element that this team possesses. They are undefeated in the group stages, and you can see that they are willing to play dirty. They are willing to go all the way. They are disciplined. They are a disciplined team. That's what I've noticed. And they can turn it up. They have great players like Abo Zenzo, the one who came in and scored the goal against the Sundowns. Those
Yes.
type of players, whenever they come in on the field, they give other players motivation to sort of say, I think we can take these teams on. I think that's the wild horse for me. That's a wild horse for me. I think a team like Pirates has done exceptionally well, and people are on the lookout for it. I think they are judging from how Alhy played against them. You see that Orlando Pirates is one of the teams that they are looking at to say this is a threat to us. They are playing so well to go to Algeria to win there, to go to win Egypt to win there. That's clearly a statement, to say watch out for us. We are coming for everything. But just like you said, you expect Esperance, you expect Sundowns, you expect Alhy, you expect Orlando Pirates in the finals. How far do you believe we can take it before Mamelodi Sundowns and Pirates can meet? Because it's most likely to happen between the two stages. I don't think we'll meet in the final. I think we'll meet before then. If, however, we are to meet,
My
how far
brother,
do you think we can go before we meet?
if we don't meet in the next stage, which is the quarterfinals, we are going to meet in the finals. I can tell you that. If we don't meet now, we are going to meet in the final. We already know that Sundowns is going to meet an Ahly. We already know that Pirates is not going to meet an Ahly as well. So we should expect the two South African teams, if they don't meet each other, even if they meet each other, to meet to meet Al Ahly in the semifinals. And if for me in any tournament, I always say this. I always believe, just like if you were in high school, they used to say grade 11 is the most difficult one. The same mentality in football I'm using it. If you win the semifinals, you're likely going to win the final. Because the final for me is a game of mentality. That is why sometimes you see small teams. If you're brave enough, you say, I'm going to score one goal against my only Sundowns, and that's it. So I'm saying to you, if Pirates and Sundowns don't meet in the quarterfinals, obviously knowing that either of the two are going to play Al Ahly means we're going to meet Al Ahly because from what I've noticed, I think we need to highlight one thing. Al Ahly struggled against Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns. But when it's come to the other not African teams, they bully them, but I'm telling you. So in other words, if you look at the other teams, the only other team that is not from North Africa besides Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns is Al Hilal, and it's been doing well. I think they are coached by Coach Ibenge from DRC, if I'm not mistaken. They've been doing exceptionally well. So now, but if I'm looking at it, I'm not underrating them, but unfortunately, in my own opinion, I do not regard them as in the same category as Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns. Hence, I'm saying that if Al Ahly avoids Pirates and Sundowns, of which they are going to do that in the quarterfinals,
Yeah, thank you, Thami. And guys, this has been the end of the video. Tune in for more, and click. There's a link here. Click, go watch some of our videos. Also subscribe. Engage also in the comments. Share your opinions. Thanks. This has been Ghxstavo, and I'm with Thami. Thank you.